Hello guys, this is Harshvardhan. Welcome back to my channel Harsha CVS. Guys, today we are going to discuss active probes. Okay. Guys, as there is a passive probes, why we need to prefer the active probes? Okay, this is the first question arises while we are discussing about the active probes. Why we need to study active probes? Because as there is a passive probes, but there is a problem with passive probes. What is the problem? Our passive probes will provide a very high attenuation to signal and it provides a very low input impedance. Okay, it is the drawback. So this drawback is overcome by the active probes. So now we can say that active probes have the exact opposite features of the passive probes. So active probe will have very low attenuation and very high input impedance. Okay, it is the feature of the active probes. And the second point, as we can provide a very fast rising signals, our passive probes won't react as fast as possible, but our active probes are sufficient and effective coupling such that it will react to the very fast and very high frequency signals. Okay, now we can see from this point we can see active probes are designed to provide an efficient method of coupling for high frequency and fast rise time signals to CRO input, where passive probes won't provide this effective method of coupling. This is the first case. And the second one which we have said right now, usually active probes have very high input impedance with less attenuation. This is very important. Our input signal must face very less attenuation while traveling into the CRO. Okay, so our active probes are capable of providing very less attenuation. Now active probes are more expensive and bulky than passive. Why? Because as the active probes are using active components like BJT, FET, diodes, etc. Okay, now see, as our active probes are providing a less attenuation, now what will happen? Now we will see. As our active probes are providing very less attenuation, so we can measure a very small signals also. Okay, it is the major advantages of active probes compared to passive probes. Now from this diagram we can clearly see that it is a FET, it is a BJT, and it is connected with a voltage divider network. Okay, and it is given to the CRO. Now from the diagram we will discuss the complete concept of active probes. Now what will happen? See, by this diagram we can clearly see that at this point there is no contact between the voltage divider and a FET to input line. Okay, so we can say that our input signal, suppose assume at this point we are having some sinusoidal input. Okay, so from this we can say our sinusoidal input is directly given to the FET, but as there is no connection at this point. Okay, so my sinusoidal input will face a very less attenuation. Okay, it is the first point we need to notice. The first point is, listen carefully, the first point is my FET is connected directly to the input. Okay, it is the first point. And the second point, we know that this circuit provides a unity voltage gain. Okay, then how we can increase? See, by this diagram we can clearly see that this FET circuit provides a unity voltage gain, right? Then how we can improve or how we can increase the input impedance? So to increase the input impedance, this we are using this BJT circuit. Why? Then what this BJT circuit will do? This BJT circuit will have very high power gain such that the input impedance, see carefully, this BJT have very high power gain. So my input impedance to the CRO is increased tremendously. Okay, it is what exactly happening there. From this we can see FET is an active element used to amplify the input signal. We know this point. Although FET has unity voltage gain, BJT circuit provide a very high power gain, so input impedance can be increased. Okay, it is the second point which is very important. Third one, so what we are doing here, we are directly connecting our FET to input signal. To be effective, FET is mounted directly in voltage probe tips. Okay, it is the important point. Now what will happen? There is no attenuation between the FET and probe tip. Why? Because it is directly connected, so there is no attenuation. But there is only a limitation that FET can handle only a few amount of volt. Suppose example, this FET can handle only 5 volts. Okay, there is only a limited voltage that FET can handle. So assume that our FET can handle amount of 5 volts. Suppose I need to give 10 volts. Suppose my input signal is at 10 volts. Now what I need to do? So I need to place an attenuator in this way. In this path I need to place an attenuator such that my 10 volt signal will be turned into 5 volt signal. Okay, it is the process that we are doing. What we are doing, listen carefully. So my FET is capable of only few volts. Suppose my input signal is a very high volts compared to the maximum limited voltage of FET. Now what will happen? So we need to place a attenuator here such that the input voltage is reduced to maximum voltage that FET can capable to take. Okay, now from this we can clearly see the range of signal can be handled by the FET is limited to few volts. To handle large dynamic range, external attenuators are added to probe tips. Okay, hope now these 3 points we are having clarity, right? No, and the final point. So what we'll do, in general oscilloscope uses with 10:1 attenuator probe. Okay, this is for this video guys. Please, if you like the content, please like the video, please share among your friends, and if you are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe. This is for this video guys. Thank you guys.